Good morning. Jamie Goldman. Oh, we lost Jamie.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
It's like, oh, I had an audience again.
Patrick's here, I'm out.
Right. Where's our Beatles? Did Beatles start playing?
Played and then
Okay, wait, wash your hands.
your hands.
Oh, that's funny. Help you wash your hands.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. KW Executives, it's 11 o'clock. We have an appointment at 11 o'clock. How is everybody doing? Thumbs up. Live crazy and take yourself off of your video so we can see your smiling faces. Thank you, Ross.
Live crazy.
All right, live a little wacky, right?
Exactly.
Well, let's get this party started. And we have an audience in the room today, so thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Slowly getting our way back. Let's start with attitude for gratitude. So what's an attitude for gratitude? Something for gratitude is success that you may have over this last week. And we can either go live, online. If you're online, raise your hand. If you're on a video, take yourself off video so we can see you.
I got one.
Yes.
I got a bunch. But,
Awesome. Take it away.
My number one is Zach allowed me to use one of his listings for a Facebook ad. So I'm rolling with that. I've got 6 leads that I'm following up with. So it's good news.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. What's another one? Attitude for gratitude.
One of my properties for a Facebook ad.
Thanks. I will reach out to you. Yeah.
There we go. Right? Love that. All right, gang. What's another one? Attitude for gratitude. I don't know which way I need to face here.
So it's this one.
Aha. There you are.
Yeah. You get to pull it up.
Let me know. Yeah, let me know if we got hands going up in the back there.
I'll let you know. Yeah.
So I have one. Actually, this is pretty cool. I'm just going to read it to everyone. And I sent a email yesterday to Gary Keller. And yesterday was Gary Keller's birthday. So I sent an email to Gary and I said, happy birthday, Gary. I, as well as our Highlands Ranch Market Center in the region of Colorado, greatly appreciate everything you do to make a positive difference in our industry. Thank you for being our lighthouse. We wish you the very best on your birthday. He responded back in an hour off of his cell phone.
Wow.
And said, you're very kind, Patrick. Bless you. Keep going. Onward. That's the owner of Keller Williams, right? Who takes a moment out of his day on his birthday to respond back to a market center in Denver. That's pretty darn cool, right? I mean, that was something where I was like, that's awesome. So that's my gratitude is for Gary.
Hey, I sent him a message too, and he responded back to me with 3 hearts.
Oh, I didn't get any hearts.
I
I didn't get hearts. I'm taking my gratitude back. That's awesome. Also have some gratitude to Debbie Connor right here with perfect timing coming in on the PC call that you shared with our leadership team,
Yeah.
which I am looking forward to diving into that one. It's one of those calls that was so powerful that you realize, 10 minutes into the call, that you either don't have enough ink or don't have enough paper when you're making notes.
Yeah.
So that's something that we'll dive in and look at some more because I think there's some power in that.
There's some awesome things coming for market centers. It's, it's not high level, it's not entry level. It's that the meat of every market center, right? And the things that are coming out are just huge. COVID revealed a lot.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
Yes, it did.
And but it's stuff that's been going on forever. That middle group gets kind of ignored a little bit, and not anymore.
No, there's a
So the
whole.
stuff that's rolling out, I'm super excited about. Yeah.
The coolest thing about it was that, so Jake, our operating principal, who will be joining us, I know you're watching, a little bit later here to have a conversation. And what was cool is that Jake had reached out to Matt Teeter, who's the president of MAP's leadership coaching. And Matt's response back was, you guys are doing great, you're in alignment. So, which is exciting because we're just gonna add this to our firepower and just run. And
Yeah.
this is all about building production for all of you. Like, that's really what it's about. So, I don't know, it was one of those deals last night where I was making notes front and back, shaking the pen, like, come on, baby, you can do this. Got 45 more minutes. So that's my attitude for gratitude. Let's dive into listings. So who has an upcoming listing? And I'm gonna have to pivot a little bit here. So if you have an upcoming listing, raise your hand. Or take yourself put yourself on video. Let's go there. Upcoming listings. In the room, upcoming listings.
Is that
We have-
Steve? Who is that? In the middle.
In the middle, Steve are you right in the middle of there? Let's see, upcoming listings. Saw Renee just jumped on.
Who has the Colts shirt on
Colts.
and the hat?
Hey, there we go. We got an upcoming listing? Not today? All right. So let's keep on going because we're gonna have an action-packed meeting here today as well because, well, we don't play any other way. So how about any price improvements? If you missed the upcoming listings, go ahead and put those in the chat. Awesome. Take it away. Mess up.
I don't know. I think I just.
Price improvements, price improvements.
I have a price improvement.
Leslie does, awesome.
I have a townhome in Centennial, 8229 South Fillmore Way. The price is now $295, guys. It's a 2-bedroom townhome, 3 levels, great little property.
Fantastic, awesome, great job. So price improvement with Leslie, any other price improvements? Well, Jamie's been having listing after listing come on the market, right?
Got a
Doug
price
Osnes.
improvement The other direction. Yeah.
Do you have any price improvements, Doug, before I keep on rolling? Nope. Nope, all right. Buyer needs. So if you have price improvements, put them in the chat. Buyer needs, let's keep going. Buyer needs, buyer needs. Leslie.
I need a single family home in either Littleton, Lakewood, that's, in the 300 range, 3 to 400 range. He'd like a little bit of yard, he got a new dog, and they're, few and far between and go really fast. So 3 to 400, anywhere kind of in there, single family.
Single family, 3 to 4. Love it, love it. Other price improvement or buyer needs. Any buyer needs?
I've got, finally got that one couple under contract.
Good
They're
job.
up in their 4th child, so that one's done. But I've got a need for still a ranch model, up to 600, totally fixed up, no work to do, finished basement. And they've now expanded to not just the southeast or southwest part of town, but Golden and or Castle Rock. So,
All right, cover the spectrum.
yeah.
Awesome. Let's help Doug out. What price point were they at?
600.
600.
600.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. I will hold my awesome to 10 today versus
You're already
18.
at.
I know you're counting. That's why
Okay.
I know what Debbie's doing
It's a
up here.
drinking game. All right.
She's going.
It's an expensive drinking game.
Yeah.
Right, right. All right, well, let's do this. Why don't we bring up Henry Russell, Movement Mortgage, talk to us about what's going on in the world out there. So let's give Henry a round.
Like I'm on the game show. This is
I
great.
know. Work on my tonality with that.
Yes, you got
Henry Russell.
Henry Russell, thank you. Hey, so again, I'm Henry Russell. I'm with Movement Mortgage. I run the cash team, for those of you that don't know. My middle name's Cash, so that's why I run the cash team. It's not a gimmick. I make it up. So just wanted to kind of go over a couple of things that are going on in the market right now. I never know where to look at. I'm assuming I'm looking at that camera
Yeah,
there, though.
you
So we'll do that, and I'll look at you guys. Couple things. So 15-year rates on anything that's conforming, 2.5 and under. 30-year rates conforming, 2.99 and under.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah. Chaffa has lowered their FICO score down to 620 again. So you only need a 620 now. If you don't need Chaffa and you have a first-time home buyer, we can go down to 580 on VA, FHA, and USDA. Not all lenders can do that, but I can tell you that I can do that. One big thing for CHAPA that you guys need to know. So I teach a class on VA and USDA where we show people how to get into a house for $1,000. So if you have a VA person, we can put them in a VA loan. We can put CHAPA on top of VA. The CHAPA loan basically covers all their closing costs. The VA is a 100% loan. The only out-of-pocket expense they have is for the inspection and for the appraisal. Those are the two expenses that they have. That's the only way that, that's one of the only ways that you can actually get into a house these days for $1,000. So if you have a VA client or you have a USDA client, they only need $1,000 to get into a house. So that's kind of a really cool trick that we can do now.
It's better than a Patrick loan, Jamie.
So a couple of things. I'm going to be doing a class tomorrow, Mortgage 101. That's going to be here, and we're also going to have it on Zoom. So those of you that can join us from home, I think we still have 16 spots available. So, we're beating them off, at the door right now, but we'll see if we can get you in. Okay. So if you want to come to that class, either via Zoom or here in person, I love to have people here in person. So if it's possible for you to come down. I'm going to have some refreshments and a couple of things for you to nibble on. So please come down. It's great. It'll be fun. I promise you, I won't bore you for an hour.
What time?
Time 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And realistically, it's 10:30 to 11:15. That last 15 minutes, I'm just leaving for questions. So if you gotta, jump out of here or run out of here, we can get you out of here at 10:15 or 11:15.
Question, Henry, real quick. When you say Mortgage 101,
Right. What am I going to talk about?
what are you talking about?
What am I going to talk about? Well, I've got these things on my pad here that says what I'm going to talk about. So pre-qualification versus pre-approval. What does it mean? What do I get when I get this from my lender when they say pre-qual versus pre-approval? We're going to talk about points. What is a point? When does it apply? Is a point different than an origination point? Is a discount point the same thing as origination point? Which ones can I write off on my taxes? All that fun stuff. Red flags. Red flags for when you're meeting with the borrower, things that you should listen for to see if they're going to actually qualify. Not that you're a lender, but it's just going to kind of help you navigate when you're talking to them. First-time home buyers. Talking to them about FICO requirements, what programs are out there. Obviously, I don't want you to be an expert. I just want you to know enough to be dangerous. Okay. And then the Movement Mortgage app. So we have an app that goes on our phone, and it has really cool tools for your clients. So when you're looking at homes with them, they can figure out what the payment's going to be. And if they have my pre-approval letter, they can actually go into their actual file and do all kinds of fun stuff while they're actually at the house. So it's a great way for them to get instant access to information, which we all know in this world, we all need very quickly and at our fingertips. The last thing I'm going to talk about is our easy sign documents. And so obviously this was before COVID came out, but now obviously it's great because 75% of the package they're going to sign is going to be done electronically. That's their closing docs. The last 25% they'll do in person with a notary. They can either do it at the title company, they can do curbside, or they can do it at their home, on their front porch or their back porch. So we've had some really good ways for people to sign now. So if you have someone that is COVID sensitive, I think it's something that you should bring up to them about how you can close their deal if you utilize it. Last but not least, sorry about that. I am collecting backpacks for a precious child. We're collecting backpacks and school supplies. You can't tell, but this is full. This is actually about 75 pounds of just very strong.
He is very strong.
Okay,
It's impressive.
it's very strong. So this is a full backpack. It has school supplies in it. And this year we're trying to meet a marker of 50. We're already at 45, so I'm going to up that. I'm going to up it to 100. So anyone that could bring school supplies or backpacks would be really appreciated. It's for a precious child nonprofit, and this is for children that obviously need these things. And this year, due to there's no lockers, they really need backpacks because kids are going to carry all their stuff with them all day long. Okay. So Debbie was nice enough to donate this. So thank you, Debbie. I really appreciate that.
I figured that came from Debbie.
Wait, you didn't think I got Elsie?
Elsa.
Elsa.
Is
See
there-
there. That was the
This
giveaway.
is the guy that has no kids. I'm lucky to even know who that is, right?
Is there a school supply list?
There isn't, just anything that you would do. So I actually, someone asked me online, and I'm going to put a list on there, but the list is crayons, markers, pens, pencils, scissors, notepads, folders. I thought 2 others: glue, tape, and calculators. So this is not only for children; it is also for teens. Because the teens are, there's obviously underprivileged teens also. So if we have calculators that we can give, that would be awesome also. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you for the few minutes. Appreciate it.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Henry. All right, let's have some fun. So yesterday, we talked earlier in the meeting, yesterday was Gary Keller's birthday. It was also the 21st of the month. Amazing how that one happens. And it was Profit Share Day. So let's talk about that. Deb, jump on up. Let's go over our profit share here real quick. And, jump one leg on up. All right, so let's give 2 claps online and for our audience. Mr.
Oh, Barry Bounds.
Barry Bounds, 2 claps. All right, hey, here's one for you. Who's that?
That is moi.
There we go, 2 claps. Good job, David. Tracy Duncan. Here's another one here. That one had a staple.
Oh, that's pages. Look at that. How many pages is this? 1, 2, 3, full pages. Look at that. John Eno.
John Eno, great job. Good one, huh?
$4,698.33.
Sounds like profit share works. Woo!
Mine doesn't have a comment in it. Gotta
Love
work
it.
on mine.
Hey, let's keep this trend going. Here's another one with a staple.
Ooh. Renee Helton.
Yay, Renee.
Great job, Renee.
You got some catching up to do, John. You got a page and a quarter at $2,684.57.
Awesome. Here's another one for you. I love this. This just keeps on going here.
Ryan Lawson, $635.34.
Awesome.
Should we be telling? Holly May, $62.13. And they got another one. They just signed up under them, so there'll be more coming. Marcia McCorkle, $477.48. And Robin Maurer, $325.71. And Doug Osnes right there, $123.25. Lori Stossel, $76.27. She's just getting started on hers. That's
I
pretty
know.
awesome.
This is already starting to run.
Yeah.
Love it.
And Rob Tate, $1,549.88.
Man.
Another one that's stapled.
Another one that's stapled.
Oh, and you better get to work.
I know.
Yeah,
Trying to get rocking here. I'm trying to let everyone catch up.
I don't know who Dennis is. but-
I don't know either. I'm still
Yeah.
trying to find out.
Yeah, don't know who Dennis is.
Awesome. Great job, everyone. So here's something fun that we're going to do. You asked, we listened. We are getting profit share classes back on the calendar. So what we're looking at is doing it on Profit Share Day on the 21st. So keep an eye out, and we'll have that get blasted out. What are we going to talk about? Deb, what are we going to talk about during Profit Share class?
Profit share, how it works, how do you get your unfair share?
Love it. So we're going to go through the A through Z of profit share. We're also going to talk a little bit about something called growth share. Now, growth share is a whole other opportunity for you that happens internationally. So profit share, when you really dive into it, profit share is about the profit of the office, right? The market center and those who are paying into the company dollar of the office. Growth share is another opportunity that we're seeing some of our KW associates just run with. And what it is, it's the profit of the region. And the region may be Mexico. The region may be Costa Rica. It could be South America. So if you want to learn more about that and about how to create vacations that you actually could write off, come to class, come talk with us. It's going to be on the 21st, and we're going to rock and roll. So we're looking to build this out and have more staples that are going to be in our profit sharing statements, right?
More staples is good.
Awesome. Well, I know we have a special guest here today who I've been haggling just a little bit. And let's bring Jake up to the front. Jake, come on up. What are we talking about? I mean, we talk about everything just about.
What are we not talking about? How y'all doing, bud?
Awesome.
Good. Well, I happen to be in town, go figure, because they're letting us travel, including my wife. And we got Little Pivot coming back. It was asked for, it was called for. It's had huge successes and huge results. And so we're bringing it back. The fun part about Pivot is it's exactly that. It's a pivot. So we went back through, looked at all the results, what worked, what didn't, what are the needs right now, the market centers and you as the agents. What's there a shortage of in the market right now? Just a little, right? I mean, isn't that crazy? So when we looked across the country, that was one of the common concerns, which is that listing inventory is down about 32% nationwide. Well, that's a challenge. Because here's the thing, are buyers down 32%? So what's that tell us? If we can help 32% more people find ways to list their homes, we're going to be able to help those buyers buy. And the only reason we're not doing more volume and more production, helping others succeed and fulfill those dreams is because we're not helping them list. And part of that is let's be real, what we're dealing with today. Part of that is we all have quote unquote found our dream home. Isn't that funny? And I say that tongue in cheek, and yet everyone has a dream home, and 9 times out of 10, it's not the one they live in. And with interest rates right now at what, 2? I think we locked in a buyer yesterday at 2.75%. When I saw the payment on his $500,000 mortgage, it was about the same as my $200,000 mortgage on my very first house back in 1999. Think about that for a second. And I wasn't making nearly what this buyer was making in 1999. So when you see the purchase power and the opportunities that exist because of what's going on in our market, there's huge opportunities. That's what our focus is going to be with Bold Pivot from the start. It's going to be how do we get more listings? How do we help you get more listings? We're going to be working through everything from the listing presentation, who's doing it successfully at a high level. We're going to go through objection handlers at a high level. Gary Keller actually just committed yesterday. Nobody else knows this. He will be on the very first session of Pivot on that first Tuesday on the 4th, August 4th. So it's going to be awesome. We're super excited about what we're bringing and what we're putting together. There's some other things that are really cool, some accountability pieces that we're bringing into the market center. And honestly, we saw the impact both on your database, your production, your activities, and because of that, your ownership group said, hey, we're going to buy 30 registrations for our office right now. So for the first 30 folks that say, hey, I'll do those 3 activities, which are simple, report out every week, show up or listen later to a quick coaching session with me and the PC coaches and some of your ALC members once a week, and then find a script practice and role play partner and actually do it.
Wait, hold on, time out.
Just saying. That's it. I mean, those 3 simple things, and we'll cover it completely. So we'll pay for it up front. We're just going to ask you to do those 3 things. As long as you do those 3 things, it's yours. By the way, the opportunity, the income you make is yours. So real quick, what I want to do is kind of walk you down just a path. This is something I've been doing with both myself, my kiddos, a lot of the coaches that I coach. It's a simple grading pattern. So I'm going to ask you to grab a blank piece of paper, and we're going to go through 5 different sections. So on a scale of 1 to 10, rank yourself on your relationship with you. Rank yourself on your relationship with you, right? How do you speak to yourself? How do you treat yourself? Scale of 1 to 10. The next one. Rank yourself on your personal productivity. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being low, 10 being I'm nailing it. Where would you rank yourself? By the way, all you out there, I trust you're doing this. Number 3, rank yourself on your income. Are you making the money you choose to make, desire to make, that fulfills you, that funds the life you choose to live? 1 to 10. Where would you rank yourself? Number 4, Rank yourself on going from E, entrepreneurial, meaning we just wake up and do what we do because we like to do what we do, or purposeful. Do I have systems and models in place that support and sustain my business so my business runs when I choose not to? Rank yourself on 1 to 10 on that. Because by the way, are there days where it's okay to choose not to run? Yeah, give yourself permission. Take a day off. And last, accountability. 1 to 10.
Smile.
How would you rank yourself on accountability? On a scale of 1 to 10. My wife and I had interesting dialogue this week, and she said, you need to start getting out and walking more because my lovely chronic cough is my excuse not to go to the gym because I don't want to scare everybody away. And she's like, so go for walks, go for runs. And my then excuse was, well, I don't want to get up that early in the morning, and number 1, and number 2, it's hot in the afternoon. And she says, then take the dog at night. I'm like, whatever. Well, guess who my accountability partner is every night? And it's not because I choose, it's because little Lucy, this little poodle, as soon as you say the W word, she knows what it means, and she will be at you barking and yelping until you put the collar on and go. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Right? So if I say, yeah, I don't know if I feel like it, guess what my daughter does? Hey, Lucy, you want to go for a walk? And she comes right to me. Right? That's
With
my
that look.
accountability. So the question becomes, do you have any accountability, right? And here's why I ask you to do this. Now add them all up. Add your scores up. The teachers know where I'm going. If you got a 45 to 50, you got an A. If you're 40 to 45, you got a 35 to 40 is a C. 30 to 35 is a B. Under 30 is a. There's an opportunity for improvement.
It's a failing forward moment.
Right? It's what are we learning? And yet, here's the question. When you give yourself that grade, what's the one thing out of those 5 pieces that you could work on today that would have the biggest impact on the overall grade? For each of us, it's different. Yet, what's the one thing for you? Because by making a drastic change in that one thing, it'll make a huge impact on the others. They all carry over. Right? This walks back down the path of be, then do, then achieve. Who are we to ourselves? How are we growing? Who are we becoming through the process of this life that we get to live? Number 2, what are we doing because of who we choose to be? How is that connecting? Doug, you know all about this. And then what is it allowing us to achieve over time? Over time. And that, my friends, is why Bold Pivot is so important. That's why I'm so passionate about it. Yes, it's not bold in person. It's not this. We get it. That will come back when the time is right and appropriate. Until then, give yourselves an opportunity. Give yourself the commitment to take advantage of what you do have at your fingertips. Take advantage of the knowledge of the coaches, because all of us have the opportunity and all of us will communicate with you every day. All of us will be a part of this. It's really cool for those who will be on it before. You don't just get to hear Jake or that one coach for 8 weeks. You get to hear from many of the other coaches, some of which you may not have heard from yet. And you get to see the vast skill sets and opportunities that we have on our team. And passions. It's really cool. Number 2, you got the coaching corners that will be coming in, just like we did last time. We're going to shorten them to an hour. And yet those coaching corners will also be interviews, just like we're doing today. By the way, coaching corner is going on right now. FYI, like I was on it last week. This week, there's going to be an agent on it from Miami who in the last Bold Pivot put a $750 or $7.5 million place under contract for making one care call. She was broke, almost lost her house, just got a $200,000 commission
Game on.
because she chose to do the uncomfortable. So she'll be on today to talk about how she's leveraging that, moving that forward. Super cool. So here's what I tell you. For those of y'all who are ready, just shoot a quick text to Amber, let her know, hey, I'm in. Sign the agreement really quick, and then go request so we can get you on the page. All those coaching dialogues are recorded. The previous ones, I'm not sure if this one will be. There's some debate on if it's going to be recorded moving forward, and yet you have access to it all. So,
Question, because there's something about live calls versus, recorded.
sure.
First of all, what time is the call?
So today it's
So
going to
they
be
know how fast.
12 to 1. So it's actually right after this.
Okay.
So get moving. So 12 to 1. For those online, just shoot a quick text or an email to Amber. She'll get you squared away. She can get you the information. 12 to 1 is when the coaching corner is. On Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 2 is when the live stream is every week. In the event that you've got other obligations, or you've got another job, or you've got homeschooling, or whatever else happens, those are recorded, and you will be able to go back and watch them. The other reason why we record them is there's a lot of great content that we go through really, really fast. So you guys can go back and re-listen to it over and over again. So number 2, there's no better way to make sure you set up the end of the year and your first quarter right now than getting into action and activity at the levels that we're going to ask you to do. I know it's uncomfortable, and yet what I will tell you is it makes a difference.
So my question is going to be, I feel like you've answered it, yet I'm still going to ask the question, right? I was in Bold Pivot in May.
Mm-hmm.
Just did it. Did Bold before that 13 times. Why do I need to be a Bold Pivot this time?
Why do you take your vitamins?
Well, I mean, because my wife tells me I should take my vitamins, but that's.
So your boss is telling you, just kidding.
Yeah.
No, seriously though, why do you take your vitamins every day? Why do you
Stay
eat
healthy.
breakfast every day?
Stay healthy, stay engaged.
It's feeding your mind, feeding your body, feeding your soul. Every time you go, you're going to pick something different up. You're going to take something different from it, right? We were talking about, a great example is the tech class that was yesterday, the regional tech class. There was stuff on there that honestly, because I've been in a million of these trainings, the tech trainings, and we do a ton of it, was old hat and old school. However, there were a few core pieces, and we were talking about it, that because I chose to engage, even though I could have said I know that, been there, done that, we do this at a high level. Our average lead conversion is $1.12 a lead right now. It's phenomenal. I could have easily said, screw this. Am I supposed to say that?
It happened.
Instead, what I did is I chose to participate because there's always something new to learn. And there were 2 pieces that we took out of it that could substantially change the landscape of our business. Substantially. Because I chose to dive in. Bold Pivot does the same thing. Bold does the same thing. Every time you're going to pick up something different, something new. In this case, I can tell you we've changed it, modified it, whatever. At the end of the day, even if we taught the same course, you're going to hear something different because you're in a different spot.
So, production.
Huh?
Brand new agent, middle of the pack, top producer, Jake.
I'm going to give you the production stats that came out just in 30 days. Now, here's the fun part. How long does it take for the normal transaction if you just start working, or normal database if you just start working it to actually start to produce?
Couple months.
A couple months, right? 60, 90 days. Here were our results from in May. There were 73% more smart plans started, 39% more opportunities created. What's an opportunity? That's a lead. That's like potential business in the future, right? 39% more. 46% more contacts added to your database. What's important about that?
Database.
You grow your database, you grow your
business. Your life.
business. 14% more listings taken, 9% more contracts written, and 133% more campaigns started with those who were in Bold Pivot versus those who were out.
Can you say that last number again? Because I think that one needs to.
133% more campaigns started.
What's important about that?
That's a communication mechanism where you build your pipeline, build your database, build your future business. That's how you create consistency in your business. When I said, does your business work when you choose not to? That's how your business works when you choose not to. You go on vacation, you still are sending out smart plans. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the business, the system's doing the work for you so you can enjoy the time that you choose. Now, here's the interesting piece though. Listen to what happened in June. Let's go to contracts and listings because those are two important ones. 10% more listings in June. That's a carryover. And 12% more contracts written. And 10% more closed transactions than those who were out. Here's the interesting piece though. Listen to the drop off in these numbers here. They're still big. There was only 43% more or 45% more smart plans started versus 79. What happened?
Have that when they happen.
All of a sudden, you weren't getting the regular reminder of just go do the work, do a little bit more. 23% more opportunities created versus 39%. 38% more contracts or contacts added versus 46%. So long story short, yes, there was still an increase because they continued to do the activities. However, they weren't done with the same vigor, which creates a lower production. And that's why Gary's pushed us to bring it back at such a fast level in August. That's why the market centers have asked for it. And that's why we've done what we're doing to modify and change it to bring it to the current, is so that you all can continue to have that success.
And again, is that part of what Deb was, or I think Patrick said, about feeding the, not your necessarily beginners and not your mega agents, but the bulk of us that are in this middle.
Here's the coolest part. Guess who's not using this?
Me.
Well, no. The megas.
Right.
Seriously. There's only a few of us out there that are using this at a high level. Because the system isn't really, we were talking about it, fully organized and systematized yet for a team of 12 like mine or somebody else. So many are opting away from it because we have our systems that work. And yet, if you were on the call yesterday, Gigi, single agent out of Southwest, a little Southwest, was sharing how she got serious about this over the last 4 months and was investing about $250 to $300 a month into Lead Accelerator. And then started to leverage into a virtual assistant company to help her with the lead conversion because she realized that speed to lead was an issue for her. And in July, she has 10 under contract as a single agent. By the way, if you went out to our teams out here who may not be on this call, and if you are, take notes. And ask them if they had 10 under contract and we're keeping up with a single agent, what do you think most of them would say? So what does that give you all the opportunity to do if you take advantage of this right now? Because the system is developed for you. They came out for the masses first, which is the individual agent, and now they're working on the team stuff. And eventually they'll get to us as market centers.
Yeah,
It'll work.
yeah, we'll make it work.
Which is fine, because this is not about us, it's about who?
About you.
So one of the things too to remember, I think it was Brooksy, I was talking to you about this a little bit, and with Kristen and Stuart, it's like these Facebook lead generation campaigns are pipeline builders. Not everybody's ready to go today. However, Kristen dropped a nugget this morning and she said, when I started putting them on smart plans and sending a home snap immediately, they re-engaged. So, I mean, there's some nuggets.
She said they were starting to dive back into that smart plan for the neighborhood that they actually expressed interest in, is what she did. Because she doesn't have their address, so she did it for the neighborhood they expressed interest in.
That, we didn't write that down. That was a great tip, by the way. Great tip. So, when we look at Bold Pivot, when we're forecasting out our future businesses, you Jake, you run one of the top teams in Colorado. You also coach Bold coaches, and you're highly engaged in maps. What are you seeing out there right now?
What am I saying?
Yeah.
It's a question. Here's the quandary we see right now. A lot of people know what they want to get out of this business. The question is, are they willing to do the work? That's the biggest question. And we can create a million excuses, or we can just ask how. And the questions that we ask ourselves are going to create the answers that we determine. If we ask ourselves the question of why can't I and how is that possible, then you're going to find an answer that supports that belief. However, if you change the question to, okay, I need to start making my 20 contacts or do my DTD2 or DTD4 right now or get back in dialogue or whatever it is, or I need to go find a new way to grow the database because I've pretty much purged my entire database. They know me. My 12 people know me like yesterday. Right?
That never happens.
Ever. And I need to grow it. The question becomes, how can I grow it in a way such that it creates these results? Because it's one thing to grow a database, and we can do that easy. I can stand outside of Home Depot and go, hey, you're buying paint, what color? Let's talk about it.
You're with Keller Williams, it's
Right.
a paint company,
Or,
right?
right, you had those great chandeliers, that was awesome. Hey, let me show you these cool chandeliers. Right, it starts a fun conversation. You can build a database. However, is that going to get you what you want in the near term? Might get you something in the long term. However, how do we get purposeful? And you mean the fence post? I was having this conversation with our investor team, my side of the team that works with investors, and they're having a hard time, a challenging time finding those deals today on the MLS. True statement. So the conversation we were having this last week was how? Where are they at? How do we find them? You know what investors are doing right now that works? They're door knocking. Now they're doing it safely, masks, the whole 9 yards, right? They're being respectful. However, they're door knocking people who are in trouble. Anybody start in 08?
Right.
Anybody do business in 08? Guess what we did? And by the way, your script in that moment is, I see you're behind on your mortgage payment. That is not a script.
Right.
It is, hey, I'm here to see how things are going. I'm just checking in with you and your neighbors. So it's not I'm pointing you out, I'm just checking in with you and your neighbors to see how things are going right now. I work the neighborhood, sell real estate, yada, yada, yada. And then you're having a conversation about what are their concerns. They're going to start to tell you, you just have to shut up and listen long enough. What are their concerns? What's going on? Where are things at? By the way, is this your dream house or not? FYI, if you find out that they're behind on their mortgage payment, which they may or may not tell you, they may talk about the person down the street instead of themselves, which is usually them talking about themselves. It's like when people say, hey, I've got a friend that. And yet what they're looking for is, what are my options? They're trying to find the solutions to the problems, and we get to bring them hope. That's the opportunity. Are we showing up and bringing hope and confidence? Or are we showing up and creating and stirring up the fear?
All these people that have done like forbearance and deferments and all this stuff on their mortgages, it's going to be huge because they may not necessarily have a job right now, but they may need to sell their house. So
There was a report that came out this month. So DS News and Fannie Mae have been doing a study every month on the 10th and the 15th of the month to see what percentage of mortgages and rent has been paid. Last month on the 10th of the month, 32% of mortgages and rent payments had not been paid on the 10th. By the 15th, that number was down to about 12% of June. This month, 41% on the 10th and 33% on the 15th had not been paid. A third of American households hadn't paid their July payments. Now, does that mean they're not going to? Not necessarily. What it does mean is for some reason they're holding on to that cash, right? And let's be real. My son, this is not a proud papa moment, so I'm gonna go there. My son is dating a wonderful gal from Boston. So he went to visit and hang out with her a little bit this summer. And while he was there, she filed for unemployment. Well, Massachusetts unemployment laws are a lot more liberal than Colorado, go figure. And with that being said, she got like $12,000 in back unemployment. Guess what she filed as her tax income last year? 8. And then she was making $800 a week for the next, and through the end of July. And then she goes on a regular unemployment check. These kids, my son went, I'm doing that. Now Colorado's different. And yet I'm like, dude, you're gonna get a job? And he's like, no, because then I can't make $800 a week doing nothing, and I'd rather golf. That was our conversation. That one,
Sure, that went over.
I was looking for the whiskey. Because in my world, no, you go work, you figure this out. This is not the way we do this. However, so I said, that's cool. If you're gonna make $800 a week, you can pay your rent. It's cool. And that changed the tone. And yet that's the challenge we're facing right now with some of this. And July 31st is done.
So question, because we've been chatting about Jake's Steak too, and
Right.
boosting attendance there. I mean, for raise of hands, and online as well, how many of us are getting value out of this right now? Okay. Where are you on Friday for Jake's Steak? I'm just gonna ask that question, be nice and direct about it, because what's going on right now, ladies and gentlemen, are nugget. And if you choose not to be involved and you choose not to be engaged, it's a much steeper climb. So what time is Jake's Take, and why should these guys be at Jake's Take?
2:30 on Fridays. It's live, honestly. Jake's Take is super organic. Yeah, usually I'll come in. It's about 30 to 45 minutes is what we kind of cut it down to. There's specific messages that we will cover and go through. However, it's very local, very market at the moment. Meaning, one of the first conversations I'll ask, the first question I ask every week is, what are you experiencing in the market this week? What are you hearing? Because I want to know what you're hearing. I know what I'm hearing from my team and what we're coaching to. And then from there, we'll build out the dialogue. This last week, we talked about opportunities and how you yourself can prepare to take advantage of the opportunities that are going to start to show up in the next 18 to 24 months and build your wealth the same way I was able to do. And we gave the folks that were on that literally a pathway and a process to go make that happen over the course of 30 minutes. It's pretty fun.
2 or 2:30?
2:30. So we're 2:30 to about 3:15.
So don't miss it is the key word there, right?
Yeah, and Amber would like for me to record it, and I typically forget or choose not to because I say things I probably shouldn't. And yet we have a lot of fun. So it is very unplugged. It's Jake Unplugged on a Friday afternoon after coaching my coaches all day. And we have a lot of fun with it. So it's cool.
Awesome. Well, let's give Jake a round of applause. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
I'll just say this, make sure you let Amber know, get signed up for Bold Pivot. It's going to be awesome this time around. And I mean, the first time, we had 30 days to put that together, by the way. Think about that.
41,000
30
attendees.
days with almost 42,000 people on it, no pressure. And yet, because we've had some time now, we've been able to go back and revisit and say, okay, what can we do better? What can we do different? How do we improve this experience so that it continues to get better every time?
Awesome.
So,
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, Deb, do we have any broker bites?
Yeah, so, just a couple things. So there's a couple of calls that I get from time to time. And it's usually, and I'm not picking on anybody that's sitting in calls or on the room, but it's not just you that's happening with. When you go show properties, you have to wear a mask. Your clients have to wear a mask. They have to wear gloves. If the seller has asked you to clean something, clean it. So you've got to have some kind of wipes or something on your person when you go in to clean the keys and the lock boxes, even if you got gloves on. So I get those calls that are never fun, and they're usually hopping mad. And sometimes an agent coming behind will cancel a showing, which affects the seller's opportunity to get a property sold. And there's a Gladys Kravitz in every neighborhood that likes to tell on people. And what will happen on down the road is they could yank our ability to show properties. They could yank our ability to do open houses. And we don't want that to happen. So I know it's a pain, and when it's 94 degrees outside, it's awful. But you've got to wear them from the car, get out of the car with it on, and the whole time you're in the property. And if your buyers aren't willing to do it, then you can't take them in. That's all there is to it. So, but they've got to continue to work. Those were the calls of the week last week. We're, turning a couple, some of our agents in, or our sellers going, oh, so-and-so from this company came through, and everybody's on camera.
That's what I was about to ask, right?
Yeah, there's Canon camera everywhere. So ring doorbells, all kinds of stuff. One guy, I think, had 21 cameras on a property.
This happens.
So,
Yep.
yeah, how fun. So, not the kind of calls I want to get. So just a quick reminder that even though it feels like some of the things have relaxed a little bit, not for walking into other people's properties and not for them coming into your listings. And so just be careful.
Love it.
Follow the rules. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Deb.
Hey, Debbie. Matt Thompson posted in the Smedra Facebook group that his client, was sheltering at home basically, and just went across the street to the neighbors and watched people go into their house with no masks on.
Yeah, I saw that. So here's who gets those complaints. Everybody know who Marsha Waters is?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She runs the real estate commission. Guess whose desk those complaints go to, and guess who personally handles them? Marsha Waters. The first time she'll be an educational call. The second time is probably around a $1,200 fine to you. The third time, you're probably going to get written up and your license may be suspended. And then they're going to start finding the brokerage as well. And trust me, I'm not signing those checks without some other consequences.
Mhm.
So,
So you're saying if they don't have them on from the time they leave the car, where somebody
it's
can watch
state
them?
mandated
because-
right now. If you're in public, and you are in public when you're walking with someone else. So you put it on before you get out of the car, and you leave it on until you get in the car, and then you do whatever you want to do there.
So Debbie, you notice Matt had a concern about not wanting us to get shut down by turning someone in. So what if others of us that are paying attention to this are, listening to this, and we find out from a listing that someone showed, and we know who it is, showed
Yep.
a property without masks, should we be concerned about that, or should we be turning them in?
Turn them in. So I've never been a big proponent of turn somebody in. Even our old attorney, our company attorney, is like, same thing, same stance, turn them in. We police our own. This is a pandemic. This is not, oh, they left the back door unlocked or something. This is a huge health concern.
Would it be more powerful if the client turns them in versus us?
Well, the DORA exists to protect the public, right? Marsha's job, she's there to protect the public before she protects any of you. And she cares about you guys. She really does care about the agent population. And so yes, the public should turn them in, and they do.
Well, I have my own house on the market, and I scope it out every time they go in, and nobody's wearing their mask from the car to the house. So,
Well, that changed last week, right?
Okay.
Was it Thursday afternoon?
Yeah, you can't socially distance outside, you have to be in a mask outside.
And if you're standing at a front door and all that,
and they're talking in the front yard and all that business, and they don't have masks.
and they don't have masks on.
But I want to sell my house.
The big concern is what's going on inside, yes?
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Well, and if they're doing it at one property, they're doing it at,
Right.
Well, in the vacant ones, you think you're okay, and a vacant one is probably the hotbed
Yep.
for anything, because probably nobody's wearing it inside.
Yeah.
Probably nobody's cleaning up after what they've touched. And so you think vacant is safer?
Nope.
So, and if your client gets something and you get something, then it shuts, I have to report it to our building. So, and there's a chain of events that gets pretty crazy and kind of ugly,
Yeah.
which we don't want to have happen.
No.
Yeah.
You can't see it, you can't taste it, can't smell it. So
Yeah.
be safe, be
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah,
Awesome.
just take care, and, then your clients know that you truly do care about them. Right? You want them to be able to show up for closing, not be in the hospital.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah.
We don't need that. All right, thank you, Deb. Doug, we got 2 minutes. You want to jump up and talk with us a little coaching about Big Y and why that's important? And there's a date coming up, I think, right?
Yeah, let's have a date. August 13th, 12:30 to 4:30. We got some information going out today with the details of how to register and how to do that. iMillionaireMentor.com. I was taking notes. Here's my take from Jake's take. Okay? Listen to him. That's a good take, by the way. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing this. You got started in 08, didn't you? Yeah.
You guys helped me put my first deal together.
It was really crappy. Yeah, I helped him write that contract. So I heard some couple important things, but this lady from Miami, you're talking about how to do the uncomfortable, and are you willing to do the work? Well, I'll just tell you, for me, at least my journey, and I lived through 2008, survived through 2008, thrived through 2008, I guess. The key is, it all starts, I'm still going to say the same thing, I'm a broken record. It still starts with getting a big why and igniting your soul. Get that? Ignite your soul to do the work and to do the uncomfortable. That was the beginning of my change. My real estate coach in 2006, 2007 said, are you willing to do the stuff you haven't been wanting to do? Yes, because I'm losing ground, things are failing. Part of that was reconfiguring my big why. So again, got a tool. You're going to walk out of this session, August 13th, 12:30 to 4:30. Patrick's coming. He's going to refine his big why. So he's committed to that. In 3 words or less, what your big why is. And Warren Buffett says it's important. Gary Keller says it's important. Jake, if you can't see him, is shaking his head and saying it's important. So take advantage of it or not, but that's what's going to enable you to do the uncomfortable and be willing to do the work, because it's something you've got to do, because you got a big why to accomplish in life.
Absolutely. Love it. Thank you, Doug. All right. So we're going to get out a little bit early today. Please pay attention to the calendar. There's some different classes that are coming up as well. On Thursday, from 1 to 2 will be the What's Next series, and that will be around leverage. We talked about building a listing inventory on Tuesday. Next week, we have another series coming out on how to earn $100,000 in a month, which, by the way, our friend at Littleton Southwest earned $100,000 in a month. So success leaves clues. So don't miss out on these. Jump on Jake's take. Take us up on this. We care about you. We care about your families. We care about you. We care about your families. And let's pour into each other. Now is the time to lean in more than ever so you can have the most incredible fourth quarter that you've ever experienced. So go out there, go get them, flip over that rock. Let's get some listings, put some things, and change some lives, right? All right, awesome. Have a great, great week. Thank you all for being here. Jake, thank you for jumping in. Take care. Sweet.